Good morning, it's Barbara. Once again, I forgot to do my gizmo. It was 66 an hour ago, because this is my second cup of coffee on my deck. I sat out here and just listened and read my phone and relaxed. I sat out here and just imagined everything's going fine in State College. It's a wonderful morning and all is well. That's what I was channeling. So, update on the parents. My dad called yesterday. I don't know what time, but Mama had come up to his apartment and she was smiling and happy and everything was fine after her first night by herself. I don't think he got any particular details, but he was pretty happy with how she seemed. And his plan was that he was going to go down in the afternoon and spend some time with her down in her area and then have dinner with her in her dining room, which I thought was a good idea so he would see. It's a little chaotic in the memory dining room, I can tell you. So I was feeling really good about that. You know, she woke up and came upstairs after breakfast and was happy. That's all I'm asking. So at 4 o'clock, quarter after 4, I get a text from my brother. Mama fell out of her chair and they're taking her to the ER, which they're not supposed to do. She's in hospice, and when she falls, they're supposed to call the hospice nurse to come and evaluate her. They are not supposed to put her in an ambulance. If you live there and you're not in hospice, if you fall and bump your head, they automatically send you to the hospital to be checked. And she apparently bumped her head. Although later I heard that it wasn't witnessed. They just kind of found her on the floor, I guess. So I don't know how they know she bumped her head. But anyway, they sent her to the hospital. My brother was furious. You know, because then he has to deal with the ER where they want to give her an MRI or a CAT scan or something. And he's like, no. And they're like, don't you want to know if she cracked her skull? He's like, no. What if she has internal bleeding? He's like, no, she's in hospice. She's in hospice. She is not having any operation to do anything. So no CAT scan. Anyway, she's fine. Well, so he was, I found that out later. All I knew was she was in the hospital. And, why are they sending her to the hospital? Well, apparently they don't know the protocol. So, I said, maybe they asked Daddy again. And he said, I tried to call Daddy and I couldn't get him. So about 7 o'clock, and I didn't hear anything from my brother. About 7 o'clock, 6:45, my dad calls and says, have you heard anything? And I said, no, I just heard that Mama went to the ER. Well, it turns out my dad had gone down like he had planned, and he passed her as they were taking her out. So I thought maybe he was there, and that's why John couldn't get him, and, they had consulted him. But no, he was just coming down to see her when she was leaving. So he got to see her as she was leaving. She got to see him as she was leaving. So I think he stayed down and ate dinner down in that dining room. I should have asked him, but, he was upset. So he had called me right as I was headed down in the basement to get something. So after I talked to him, I went down in the basement to get something. And while I was in the basement gathering whatever, he called back. So apparently my mother was like in the elevator. Apparently my mother was in the elevator on his way to his apartment when he called me. So, he called me back 2 minutes later. She's here. She's got a big smile on her face. Everything's fine. Can you tell your brother? You know, and it was like, well, did they feed her? I don't know. I'm like, well, I have leftover tomato soup in the refrigerator that I didn't eat. She can eat that. Anyway, so, you know, I talked to him for a minute. Mom was like, when are you coming to visit? I'm like, I'm coming in the weekend, Mama. Oh, good. So she was fine. She was fine. Daddy was happy again. So anyway, got up this morning a little early. I've been getting up early, you know, because my days are all wacky and I'm exhausted. I've been going to bed way early. So I've been sitting out here on my deck looking at my pretty flowers, glorying in the beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky, and imagining all is well at Harmony. I'm just channeling all is well at Harmony. Thank you all for your good wishes and thoughts and prayers. I appreciate it so much, I cannot tell you. And we're all channeling all is well at Harmony. Harmony at Harmony. That's what I'm doing. Anyway. So, this morning I've done a little bit. We have the cleaners coming today. A honeybee on my phone. The cleaners are coming today, so I've done a couple things. But, you know, I have to do very little today to clean up for the cleaning crew. It's amazing how unmessy the house gets when I'm not here most of the time. So now I know who the messy person is. So I have a few things to do, but not very much. They're not coming till this afternoon. So I cleaned up the dog water station and, you know, the dog dishes. And not too much. I didn't work too hard so far this morning. I mostly drank my coffee and gloried in the beautiful morning that we are having. It was a bad day yesterday. In fact, I moved all those plants that I showed you yesterday were on the table. I moved them up against the wall on the deck because it was supposed to be really stormy yesterday and possibly, you know, tornado watch and whatever. So I thought they would be more protected up against the house than they would be out on this table. So they survived perfectly well, and that is good. And the plan is, while the cleaning crew is here, we're going to plant those plants. We'll see, but we got to do it soon. I also have to put some holes in the basket liner because all those impatiens are dead, and so I need to be able to get some drainage in there. Thank you for the advice. So, and then I'm going to replant that with impatiens in a way that they can drain and they won't be over soggy. And I got a bunch of stuff to throw away that's, you know, should have been in the garbage before. That's on the deck. And then arrange things a little bit and sweep. Wash the table. The glass table needs to be washed. So I have a few things to do out here, and I will do that while Terry and Pete are spiffing up the inside. Vicky comes tonight. Those of you who come on Zoom know Vicky. And she will be here tonight to visit her mother and us. She will get in at midnight. I mean, her plane doesn't get here till 10:30. I went to bed at 10:30 last night. Is it rude to, like, go to bed? Well, her mom is going to want to stay up till she gets here, I'm sure. And I need to stay up with Aura. I can't leave her with the dogs. And the dogs will not stay in the bedroom with me when there's things going on downstairs. So I will be up, yawning. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Oh, the other thing I did this morning was I ordered some grippy socks for my dad. My niece was so funny. I waited on Sunday. I waited till my nieces came to visit my parents so that I could give them a hug. One of them lives in New York City. The other one lives in Santa Cruz, California. So I only had 5 minutes with them because it was getting late. But I told, you know, as I was leaving, I'm like, yep, I'm going to look for grippy socks for you, Daddy, because I was able to find grippy socks for Mama. apparently you use them in Pilates and things like that. So they were in the sportswear department, in the sporting goods department, and so I was able to find little shorty grippy socks for my mother, but I couldn't find any for my father. And my niece Janine says, "Oh, you mean you don't have to go to the hospital to get a new pair of grippy socks?" I'm like, I hope not. Oh, so I found some, and I'm having them shipped to my dad. So, because my dad has the weirdest feet. They're really, really wide at the, across the toe part. I mean, crazy wide. His toes are angled like this. I mean, he has the ugliest, weirdest feet. And I think they're only about like a size 9, but they're so wide. They don't make shoes as wide as his feet. It's impossible to get him shoes. I mean, the last shoes he bought, I took him to buy shoes. They turned out to not be very comfortable. And he can't wear them. But he told me, "Barb, go buy me shoes." Like, Daddy, how? I can't buy you shoes when your feet are with you. How can I buy you shoes when your feet aren't with me? He put John on the case. I'm like, good. Make that John's job. So John's been like buying all different shoes and trying them on his feet. They're not working. So anyway, but he doesn't go outside. He doesn't go outside. I got to start knitting for my parents. I need to start get going on a twiddle muff. And it occurred to me that my mother's hands are cold. I was trying to figure out, how do I introduce this twiddle muff to my mother in a way that would make sense to her and not, make her make a face, which she would do if she thinks something's silly. And it occurs to me that her hands are cold a lot. So I'm going to make her a muff that's got twiddly things on the outside, but it's a muff so that it will keep her hands warm. And that would work for her. Here, put your hands in here when they're chilly, and there you go, you're warm. And she'll like, oh, yeah, I'm sure she'll think that's a great idea. And it is, because her hands are always cold. And then have it, those are the decorations. You can, do what you want with the decorations, Mama. That's my plan for the twiddle muff. So I will be working on that. But I also need to knit my father some felted slippers. Some big felted slippers that fit his feet with leather bottoms that he can at least wear out of the building if he needed to go out of the building. I can do that. And I'm tempted, part of me, since I just want to knit, part of me wants to just take feltable yarn and just knit like a square yard of feltable yarn and felt it really, really well. And then cut it up and sew it and turn it into slippers. Like, go and, measure his feet and rather than trying to come up with a pattern that would work for him, that would felt down to the right size and everything. I think I'm just going to make some fabric. I'm going to make some fabric and felt it really thick and then cut it up and sew it. That's my current thinking in that. So those are my next two projects, and I'm not going to wait to finish my sweater, obviously, because I'm not knitting very much. And I think Vicky's coming. I'm going to just be sitting and visiting with her, and I'm going to work on my twiddle muff and my slippers for Daddy. That's my plan. I don't execute my plans all the time, but I'm hoping I execute this because he needs something on his feet. that he can walk out to the patio or, you know, walk a little bit. You know, I'm counting on him being able to walk a little bit with his walker. So anyway, that's my plan. That's my knitting plan for the near future. So I'm going to be working on my deck today. I'm going to be planting those plants today. I'm going to be, yeah, the house is going to get clean like magic. I am so grateful that Aura, well, if she didn't pay, I would, because I'm not, I just can't. So anyway, but the house will be clean when Vicky arrives. I have my plans for my projects while she's here. And I'm going sometime on the weekend. I decided I'm going to stay overnight at least one night. So if I only stay one night, then I have to go on Sunday, because I want to wake up on Monday with sort of the normal week's crew to talk to them, answer any questions they might have, you know, see the routine. I'm not sure whether I should sleep in my mom's room or take the air mattress upstairs and sleep in my dad's room, because I feel like if Mama's gotten into a routine this week, I don't want to disturb that. So I'll talk to the powers that be and get their advice on that score. But either way, I want to be there early on Monday to see sort of how their Monday is and the routine and everything like that. Vicky leaves on Tuesday, so I will be back home on Monday. So I'll see her at least a little bit. I'll see her at least in the morning on Tuesday. She has plans Monday night, so whether I'm here in time to spend time with her on Monday, probably not, is my guess. But we'll have lots of time before the weekend. So that's my current thinking. But I want to be there Monday morning just to see a normal week, you know, because the weekends aren't, you know, they don't do activities and stuff. I would, you know, so I'm sorry. Ramble. But I am, all is well at Harmony. All is well at Harmony. I'm going to believe that until I hear otherwise. But Mama was not hurt. I obviously don't know what happened. And I haven't heard anything back from Fran, who I sent the email to yesterday. So we shall see. Although apparently when Mama came up yesterday morning, she was in her wheelchair, which was one of the points in my email was, you know, if she's going to spend a lot of time sitting in her chair, then she needs to be in the wheelchair. Because I had been using sort of a transfer chair that's easier for me, but it's not comfortable. And she was in her wheelchair, so I don't know if Fran just forwarded my email to the team or they just agreed with me and thought, yeah, let's put her in the wheelchair. Either way, it was good. It was good. So, except she fell out of it, apparently. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm hoping that tomorrow all I talk about is all the work I did in the garden and how the deck looks better. Oh, maybe I should give you a little before of the deck. No, you'll just see the after. You don't need to see how icky it is. And it's time for me to go. I have to go give Dennis his tea and make coffee for Aura and give her her pills. That's my next thing. And upload my video. So please take good care of yourselves. Please, and thank you again for all your good wishes. Please take care of yourselves. Stay safe and stay sane.